Imagine your boss gets caught snuggling another exec on a jumbotron, and they're both married to other people. Can HR actually fire them? Let's rewind. It's a Coldplay concert. The vibe is wholesome. The lights? Magical. Then boom, the camera pans to a cozy couple in an intimate embrace. Only problem? They're not just anybody. One is the CEO, the other? The Chief People Officer. You know, the person in charge of HR, workplace culture, ethics, and employee complaints. And they're both married, just not to each other. No movie director could write a better office drama. Except this isn't fiction. This happened. In public, on the jumbotron. In a digital age where someone's always recording. So the internet did its thing. Exposed identities, aired allegations, and let speculation fly. But here's the real question. Can you be fired for cheating? Should you be fired for cheating? Let's talk law and consequences. Corporate side, the company and board, can the company fire them? Yes, if there's a contractual, ethical, or fiduciary breach. In both the US and Canada, employment is often at will for execs, unless governed by a contract. Even if cheating itself isn't illegal, corporate governance rules and code of conduct policies often cover undisclosed romantic relationships, especially when there's a hierarchical power imbalance, conflicts of interest, conduct unbecoming of senior leadership, behavior that damages company reputation. Kristin, as CPO, has fiduciary duties tied to HR compliance, workplace safety, and DEI oversight. Andy, as CEO, is the moral and strategic face of the company. If they failed to disclose a relationship, or if there's any evidence of favoritism, misuse of funds, e.g. company-paid travel, or retaliation, the board has grounds to investigate and act. The board's responsibilities may include initiating an internal investigation, reviewing any potential breach of employment contracts, assessing exposure to legal liability, e.g., if other employees allege unfair treatment or hostile work environment, deciding whether to terminate, discipline, or accept resignations. Even if there's no smoking gun, boards often weigh perception risk. Is this scandal going to damage investor confidence, employee morale, or the brand? Remember, both execs are public-facing officers. The higher your title, the lower the threshold for conduct that undermines your ability to lead. Potential defenses by the execs. It was just an embrace, not misconduct. They can argue that no policies were violated, no work-related decisions were influenced, and no professional boundaries were crossed. It was consensual and private. If the relationship was mutual and occurred off hours without impact on work, they may argue the company is overreaching. No formal relationship to disclose. If they deny being in a romantic relationship and claim the moment was platonic or misinterpreted, that complicates the board's ability to prove breach, especially in the absence of corroborating evidence. No prior complaints. They might argue no employee has alleged misconduct, which weakens claims of policy breach or power misuse, unless more comes to light. Family law side, the aggrieved spouses. Well, some reports say Kristin is divorced, but the social media be wilding on this right now. Nothing is substantiated as yet. In any case, there is at least one spouse caught up in this messy affair, no pun intended. Family provides quite a number of avenues for the aggrieved spouse to seek redress. 1. Divorce implications. In the U.S., about 25 states still allow fault-based divorce, where adultery can affect spousal support, alimony, and asset division. Example: in North Carolina, a cheating spouse may be denied alimony if infidelity is proven. In California or Canada, both are no-fault jurisdictions, so adultery has little bearing on financial terms unless it directly impacts marital assets, e.g., money spent on the affair. In custody battles, courts prioritize the child's best interest, but if the affair involved deception, instability, or emotional harm to the child, it could become relevant. 2. Misuse of marital assets. If it's discovered that marital funds, e.g. joint credit cards, family accounts, were used to finance the affair, think travel, gifts, hotels, etc., that can support a dissipation of marital assets claim in divorce proceedings. 3. Alienation of affection lawsuits. This one's juicy. In a handful of U.S. states, North Carolina, Mississippi, South Dakota, New Mexico, Utah, and Hawaii, a wronged spouse can sue their partner's lover under alienation of affection laws. Yes, you read that right. The non-cheating spouse can bring a civil suit for stealing the affection of their husband or wife and demand monetary damages even if the couple was already having issues. There have been real cases where mistresses and lovers were ordered to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Potential defenses by the execs. Because we listen, we don't judge. There was no pre-existing affection in the marriage. They can argue that there was no affection, so no harm was caused, really. I didn't know they were married. Each exec can raise this in response to the spouse of the other exec, if that spouse were to bring a legal action against them. The marriage was already broken before I came in, similar in principle to the previous defense. Before you come for me, remember I said potential defenses. It's up to the courts to decide the merit. In Canada and Nigeria, for instance, no such claim exists anymore. Both countries have abolished torts like criminal conversation and alienation of affection as relics of the past. In conclusion, this cold play cuddle may seem like a meme, but the legal risk is very real. Executives must disclose relationships, especially when there's a power dynamic. Boards have a duty to protect company integrity, not executives' personal reputations. Spouses may have grounds to seek financial compensation or divorce leverage, depending on where they live. And yes, in some U.S. states, you can still sue your partner's side piece. But most of all, this is a cautionary tale. Public affection in a private affair can become a corporate, legal, and personal crisis, especially when the jumbotron is watching. And that's the legal tea for today. Boardroom romance meets jumbotron chaos. If you learned something new or just enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to Law Bants, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a spicy legal twist. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not legal advice.